Ready? 107.5 GCI, the shot number one for hip hop and R&B, live with Tone Capone, man. It's always good to have a personal friend in, man, to see him doing so good, man. Always been doing well, man. The executive producer of the All Eyez on Me movie, LT Hutton, straight from Chicago. What's up, boy?
What it do, Playboy? How you living, man?
Yeah, I'm all right. Things are good.
You know what? People keep saying executive producer. I got to set the record straight because the highest title you can get is produced by. That's my title.
My bad.
Produced by.
My bad. So, all right. Before we jump into it, let me. What gives you the ability to do a movie with this kind of magnitude behind it, with this kind of person? You know, Pac it has so many layers. I mean, because we know you had some personal stories with him. What made you decide to do it?
For me, what gives me the ability to tell the story? I'm from the culture. Number one. I live the life. I live the world. So when people say, you know, what gives me, I say, who else in Hollywood that's a producer could make this type of movie? So that's what I like to say. Who else besides me? You know what I mean? Like Mick Jagger produced Get On Up. No disrespect to Mick Jagger. I'm just saying that's the James Brown story. You follow what I'm saying? So when you're talking about, you know, hip-hop historian, factual content like this, these stories should be told by people like us from this world that actually have a point of reference to draw from and pull from, you know, at any point. We know what the world felt like. We know what the summer of '88 was. We know what in 1992 when The Chronic dropped. We know what happened and how you felt when Doggy Style came out. You know, we know what it was like that night on September, 13th when we found out that Tupac passed away. So, you know, we can go back that in our point of reference to actually say, I know what that feeling like, so I know I can create that same feeling or try to create that same feeling over again. So, you know, we know what, you know, Chicago lakefront, you know what I'm saying? Right. We know what that felt like, 31st Street Beach, you know what I'm saying, on the summer in the 90s, like we know what that was, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I think a lot of people, you know, even if you weren't from the world, you know, it's better if you were, just so in point of reference and places to pull from, you know, you could be more authentic.
Okay.
You know?
And you know, just a little background, you know, LT and I went to high school, and I'll never forget when you went away and was like, yo, I'm about to be a producer. At that point, I had no idea what a producer was because I was just trying to play football. Right. I was like, but you went away.
And you tried to dance for a second, too, let's be clear.
Yeah, I did try to dance a little bit.
The skate world, you know, he stepped up and tried to battle me, you know, because I started as a hip-hop dancer. And I tell you, that lesson should have been learned that night, you know what I'm saying? And,
I'm going to be an athlete.
Yeah. You know I won that battle. Let me skate world. It's witnesses that was out there.
My dude, man. And so you went out to L.A. and you became this big producer. And so your interaction with Tupac, I know you had interaction with Tupac, SUGE, very, very good close relationship with Snoop. I mean, how tell us, give me some background on that.
The thing was, you know, I spent a lot of time in the studio, so I was a studio rat. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I didn't have no place to go, so I was the fly on the wall, you know, for the years that, you know, Death Row was really popping. And I was in the studio most of the time because it's like I lived with Snoop at the time. So if we weren't at Snoop's house, you know, we were at the studio. In between those two places, you know, I didn't have no money. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no place to go. So I buried myself in the studio. So, you know, late nights, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, any time when certain things would go on, I was there, you know, for a lot of it because I had no place to go. I was, you know, low man on the totem pole because I was just starting out. Right. And then, you know, as I've worked my way up through the system and became like one of the #1 producers at Death Row, you know, my world started to change and different things. But a lot of the information that I use for actual Death Row, I just happened to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't planned. I didn't know that this was going to happen. And even with my year relationship with Tupac, on when I say year, you know, because you know people in passing, but we got a chance to spend a solid year from the time he's released, you know, from prison, and he came to Death Row. So we spent almost, you know, 24 hours a day. Like, we saw each other every day because he lived in the studio. Right. So he would go here or there. If it wasn't a video set, it was the studio. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't the studio, it was the house that he had. And that happened to be, Snoop had an apartment across, they had 2 penthouses. and that was like Snoop had one floor, Pac had another floor. It's like they were right there. Right. So we were together all the time, and if he wasn't doing that, he was with Snoop, and I was with Snoop 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? So we just had a lot of interaction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you got a chance to see that. Now, this is the thing that I saw an interview. John Singleton did an interview, and he just like, you know, he wanted to direct it. He wanted to direct it, but then he said he had to leave it because he felt like people were. It was too much other input, outside input.
False.
Okay.
100% false. Here's the thing. Like I said, I don't like to perpetuate the nonsense, but let me give it to you.
Give me the facts.
Let me give it to you live and direct. The thing was, John Singleton had years. When he was on top, he had years to make this picture. He did not get on this picture until he called me. We had a conversation, and I tried to forgive some of the past things that had happened with him and Pac. You know what I'm saying? And the way Pac felt about certain things, because I'm trying to say, okay, we need to work together on it. Okay, let's do it. There were some creative differences that were beyond, you know what I'm saying, other scenarios, very disrespectful things that I don't care if it was Steven Spielberg. My name is on this project. I was not going to have people say there's no way LT should have let that happen. Mm-hmm. I created the project. Mm-hmm. I went and got the money for the project. It was a project that I wanted to do as a passion project. Mm-hmm. So when he came in and certain things didn't go that way, I explained to him, this is not anybody else. And if you go on any of these interviews, say my name. Go ahead and say my name, who you had a problem with. And if you want to talk about in publicly, we'll list the problems out that he put on paper. And we'll talk about these problems, and I guarantee the world will have problems with the things that we have problems about. And that's it. You just cannot be on this project if you're going to try to be self-servient, you know what I'm saying, to yourself. This is Tupac's story. It's not LT Hutton's story.
Right.
It's not John Singleton's story. It's not my company's story. Mm-hmm. This has nothing to do with us. We have to have the responsibility to respect this man's voice to the point where we follow his POV, mm-hmm. not lean to our own understanding on it, but follow his journey the way he said that it happened. Mm-hmm. Not add in facts, I'm not what I want to call it. I want to say alternative facts. Okay. Don't add in alternative facts.
Just want to make the story a little better.
Yeah. To fantasize it for Hollywood. Okay. You cannot do that. Tupac wrote his own story. It's interesting enough without adding in different rumors and things to try to, glorify something to make it Hollywoodish. Mm-hmm. You follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And at the same time, when you do that, you're taking away the integrity of what Tupac fought for his entire life, was to be the realest. Right. You know what I'm saying? To be the truest person that you've ever seen. And, and with something like that may have cost him in life, being so real, how do you dare try to change, edit, or something in history that is so important? Why would you want to tamper with that? Right. So anybody that was going to be against the truest Tupac story, you were going to have a problem with me regardless of who that was, because I took on the task for a certain reason, and so I had to be the gatekeeper, and I had this same conversation when it come to wardrobe. There was no way we're going to have Tupac and knock off Carl Kanai. You know what I'm saying? Because Hollywood, says we're going to go rent these wardrobes, we're going to go do this. It is, $250,000 for fake imitation Carl Kanai and things of that nature. So you know what I did? Mm-hmm. I called Carl Kanai himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Carl, come in. When Benny came on, we talking about Walker Wear. He called April Walker from Walker Wear. So all of the things that you see are original pieces, called from Cross Color. We didn't have fake Cross Color. We called Cross Color the company. So we created a world, because this is the first look for a lot of people inside of this world. Right. We wanted to be the truest and most authentic look into the world that you've ever seen. So going back to that, like I said, I don't have no problem with the guy. He got a problem with us, you know what I'm saying? And that's just a shame, because most films, this summer we got about 70-something films coming. One of them are urban mainstream American. And we got to have a battle royal over it and make it about something other than what it is, which is that the Tupac Shakur biopic comes out June 16th, was done by a young guy from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. In spite of, which is a mirror of what Tupac talked about, of how it was going to be in Hollywood. it was his prediction that you would have young producers like myself coming into Hollywood, changing the game, being able to have a voice in the system. Because Hollywood, they don't want this type of storytelling out there per se. You know what I mean? So they want to shape it the way they want to shape it. They didn't want something as raw as this. Like, you got to see the way we open up the movie, man. It's heavy.
All right.
It's a heavy movie. So, you know, for me, that whole scenario, you know, it is what it is. But the reaction that you see from everybody that watched this movie, it wouldn't have been the same if I hadn't switched gears like I did and bring in Benny Boom.
Nice. Well said. Now, let's just go ahead. I'm always about competitive things that will come in and play and maybe get somebody's competitive juices going and I think competition makes things better. So when you see an NWA straight out of Compton and you watch it like, yo, which I thought was a great film. I thought they did well. I just did it well. First, you know, they just completely done well. Then you look at some other things. You look at other pictures that came out. Were you feeling a little pressure? I mean, because you got Get Out. We've got some highly successful African American films.
Here's the thing. For me, you know, there's room for multiple pictures. Like, even when we name these pictures, you know, we can really stay on one hand with the amount of pictures we've had come out. So for me, you know, it's just keeping it in true fashion of saying, okay, we need more quality pictures. Those were quality pictures.
Right.
So with the staff and the crews and the different production budgets that we have, you know, I know for a fact what I was trying to do is, you know, I love the competition, you know, and I, you know, I let other people see the film and then they'll make the decision what's better or what's not better. If like, it's not even about what's better, it's just I know the bar we had in production value, so you're going to see something on a level that, you know, a lot of people aren't expecting to see. Okay. This was not a small movie, and you know, Tupac is an iconic figure. He needed to have the best. This Cinema Transformer truck, the way we advertise, you see the shirt, All Eyes on Me. It's a different approach to filmmaking. It's a different approach to marketing. You know, it's called non-traditional. Is what I named it. It is a whole different wave and a new thinking. You know what I'm saying? Where we living in a world where you can get everything handcrafted, handmade, you know, and it's just so sad that in Hollywood, we're still saying the first black. In 2017, we're still saying the first black person to do is the first black person to do it. I got a few from making this the first black man to do this, the first black, and to me, we have to do something to change that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, I just, you know, I'm a movie guy, and you know, and also a friend of yours. So you know, it's for me. I'm like, yo, please, LC, please. I like knock this one out the park, because not only for the you know, like you want to have a nice film, you put your heart and soul into it, but because of what Tupac meant to the culture, you know what I mean? Like, you know, even when people talk about the Biggie movie, and they like, you know, you have people knocking it a little bit. Well, okay, I would have maybe changed the things. You could have changed the stuff. But it's so tough. That's the thing. It's so tough. Biggie's such a huge person, literally and figuratively. And then you got Pac, who's this polarizing figure for. I mean, to this day, people still love Pac. Like, it's amazing. The emotions that some of the music still brings out. So I just wonder, is that, do you feel like, yo, do you like sit in every screen and like I got to see what people thinking?
Yeah, I did that. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, like I said, for me, it was called solving the Rubik's Cube, because you're dealing with a piece of material where mostly everybody's still alive. Most of the characters we're talking about, they're still here. So you can't make some mocked up version of something, because they'll be the ones that say, okay, that's BS, that's B. You know what I mean? They'll call you on it. So this film had to be accurate from A to Z, because there's too many people who still are here in every moment. So, like I said, I created a trajectory where it was Tupac's POV. So you could argue with me and you could argue with this person, but you cannot argue with Tupac. Right. So it's being disciplined enough to follow the story in the truest form of what it was, which is, okay, how did you feel as a teenager? Don't ask me. Don't ask, you know, anybody else, we ask Tupac. He'll tell you. If you go right now, and like, even without the internet, like, we created this thing called the Tupac Bible, where I had thousands and thousands of things translated, as, in the Bible, you got words that are in red.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the Tupac words, things that he said, right? Mm-hmm. In red, which is like Jesus, right? And everything else that everybody else said, like the apostles. So when you go through the scenario and say, okay, well, how did you feel, like I said, about high school? He tells you exactly how he felt about high school and how he walked through high school and what was important to him at the time, what wasn't important to him, and we followed that through line. So if you say, how are you feeling about Death Row Records? We have the actual dialogue where Tupac talked about how he felt about Death Row Records. How do you feel about Biggie and Puffy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tupac explains to you what he felt and what he said, not a bunch of words made up like the beef was about this and the beef was about that.
Mm-hmm.
We go with what Tupac said. You follow what I'm saying? So
I get it.
So for me, that system protected us all because we stayed true to Tupac's words. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So and like I said, with the production value, we had the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? In every department.
Okay, so now let me take you here. Who do you think is going to be the breakout star? Because obviously, from the NWA, it was O'Shea, and then I forget the guy that played Eazy-E.
Yeah.
Actually, all of them really did. They all became breakout stars after that. Who do you think?
You got to understand, man. And this is another thing. There was such a spirit on this set, and people had respect for, like, when I talked to people about it, they saw my passion and they jumped deeper into what they were doing too, because we were all passionate and we all knew and had the respect for the IP to understand that we have to, as like you said, the last thing I wanted to do in life was be the guy who didn't get the Tupac movie right. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
So when people say it took a long time, because I would not dare, touch it if it wasn't going to be that. So that's why when now everybody is seeing it, from New York Times to people that consider themselves Tupacologists, they're coming out of the theater saying, you didn't tell me that it was that, because I'm not shaping people's opinion. I just say, see it. And then once you see it, go to your social media and you explain what you truly feel in your heart about the material that we've presented. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like nobody. I was not going to get it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? I got too many other projects that I want to do, and like I said, my legacy wasn't going to be that. You know what I mean? So we had to get it to the point where, people are saying what they're saying right now. And, I love that part. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta love it.
And so, only thing I can tell people is just watch it.
Wow.
Just watch it. That's all I ask. Get your Hennessy, get your favorite other treat. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a plug too. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate
but
that.
But the thing is, go in that fashion, throw a Tupac party, and like I said, it's a cautionary tale, but it's not so preachy where you're not being entertained. You're
right.
being entertained, but there's a lot of jewels in there, a lot of jewels. And the thing is, I call it edutainment. You know what I'm saying? It is definitely edutainment, and it's going to give people an insight on the other side. Like I said, with those other films, you also, we got a treat to see what worked and what didn't work. You know what I'm saying? What people reacted to. Because in some of those movies, they let a lot of things slide. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so heavy on myself, and, it's like, okay, those things slid, nobody questioned it, but I didn't want to have those. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I corrected. If I did have a flaw, I was able to correct. Like, I'm not even saying about the movie, but that's why in fashion, I had a whole fashion round table with all the big people, and they were like, the fashion was incredible. Then I did another round table, a filmmakers round table, so people could discuss how it was made. The film was shot, anamorphic, on the new Alexa camera, so it's like the quality. It's
should
just
be out of my joint.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I'm just saying it's done in the way, Peter Menzies was the DP. You know what I mean? You can look him up. You know what I mean? Our editor Joe Cox, Academy Award winner. Our sound department, Craig Mann, Academy Award winner. You know what I mean? There's Academy Award winners that worked on this project with us. Like I'm saying, we brought in heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Benny, which has been, creating the visuals for our culture for so many years, you know what I mean? So me and him spoke the same language, you know, and he came in, you know, he wasn't self-serving. He was dedicated. He was dedicated to getting the story right. He wasn't trying to make Tupac and I.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to make Tupac and me. You know, a lot of people was trying to do that. And then I even heard somebody on the radio say, oh, yeah, people. I said, so you even stealing my lingo now. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people was trying to make, you know, the walk I had with Tupac. And that's not what this is about. It's about Tupac. You know what I mean?
All right, well, okay, let's go ahead. Before I get you out of here, I got a couple more questions.
Yeah, you know, I'm giving you the real, man. This Tone Capone, man. This is my high school buddy, man.
Yeah, that's it.
We got a lot of history. Tone, remember, you know, Tone, I always felt Tone them was super rich because they lived in Provincetown and Country Club Hills, you know what I mean? And I went to Rich Central at that time. They was busting us in, and they even cut us off at Rich Central.
Yeah, I don't think you can't even go to Rich Central.
Beacon Hill, like, yeah, you know, they kicked me out of there too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Provincetown was maybe.
But they're gonna put me in the Hall of Fame, so you know.
Good.
You know, I don't know how they're gonna put a guy that kicked out, you know, in the Hall of Fame, but that just shows you, you know. And I'm not blaming them because I was doing crazy stuff. I was bad, but I changed my life, you know what I mean? And I dedicated myself to, you know, reform, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to talk to all the kids. And, like, I love speaking at the high schools and giving them hope because, like I said, I don't fit the normal bill of a Hollywood producer. I didn't take the normal path. Like F. Gary Gray never went to film school. He jumped right in, and he got his hands dirty. And, look, they had a billion plus on that Fast and Furious, you know.
Man.
Hats off to that guy. You know
right.
what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, with me, Gary and, you know, all these guys, they respect because they've seen what I went through. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's hard to get a film made in Hollywood in general. So for me to, you know, have started in 97 with my film company, then getting my own division in 2007 at Morgan Creek, you know, in conjunction with the Program Pictures, which is my company. Never worked for them, always been partners. So a lot of people are like, well, how you do that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I studied the game a long time and done, you know, I did multiple films before I took, okay, this is coming out now under my banner. You know what I'm saying? I want to focus in on our stories, the stories that mean so much to us, you know, and told by us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's when I started these journeys on these particular type of pictures. And here we are, June 16th is coming.
June 16th, All Eyes on Me. All Eyes was on Funkmaster Flex when he talked about Sunday. When you saw it?
Irresponsible. Very irresponsible. Regardless of, you know, you got a right to feel how you want to feel.
Right. Now, that's what I'm saying. Got to give him his right.
Yeah, I can't take that away from anybody, but for me, irresponsible of the platform that you have. You know what I'm saying? Taking attention and the light off of something that's getting ready to happen that we all should be celebrating. Like, for me, you know, there were people that were calling me saying, can he see the movie? Can he see the movie? And I said, yeah, he can see the movie on June 16th. You know what I'm saying? He can go buy a ticket because the thing is, for him to perpetuate the nonsense and say that Biggie was killed behind what Tupac did, that is false. That's not. It was multiple things that happened. And I'm not a snitch, never will be a dry snitch. But, you know, you don't know the full story on this side of it. You know, the thing is, we lost two great people, Biggie and Tupac. There's hurt on both sides. You know, I was involved in the entire East Coast, West Coast. I remember what happened. I got jumped in New York, Madison Square Garden that night, okay? I had to fight for my life because of the nonsense that was received from just talk and just, you know, we didn't have any understanding. But I'm from Chicago, you know what I'm saying? So at that time, I was young, wild, and crazy, and I was on death row, and I was representing what we was representing at the time, and we let media, you know, put the cables on our backs, and we did things, but we were young. That's what you got to understand. We were young. So for him, at this particular juncture, you're a grown man, and you know everything that happened, and you know how dangerous that climate was at that time for all of us. So to put those feelings back out there in that type of way, if you really want to discuss it, you could call me personally, and we can have a one-on-one, and I can help hopefully shed some light on certain situations to you, or you could do the same for me if I wanted that. Like, but to go on your platform and just accuse, to make an accusation that strong, that was irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be repercussions that come to him. And this, you know, Tupac's life shouldn't mean black people fighting black people.
No.
He did not want his life to mean that.
No.
He did not want his life to say, okay, my name or my legacy is going to cause controversy to the point where it has black people wanting to kill other black people defending my name. Right. He wouldn't have wanted that. So for this guy to go out there and do that, and now you bringing out these emotions and make people say, you know, what they said about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really taking this thing very seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Tresh felt the way.
And so do I. You know what I'm saying?
Felt
like,
that all kind of way. I'm like, damn,
I feel beyond. But the thing is, you know, you cannot. We don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that playing and back and forth from the internet. Like, you know, for me, you know, I don't deal with that stuff well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real for us. You know what I mean? So I don't like to. Yeah, I don't like to play.
Well, let's get off the negative. let's get off the negative. We got June 16th, all eyes on me. You're in town, man. Always good to see you. Before I let you out of here, you have to give me one. Just one. You have to give me one good Tupac story. Like one good Tupac or one good Snoop story. Okay, you can't do it's too many girls involved in it.
Hey, no, man. You know, my wife knows. You know, it was Death Row.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just so many stories, man, that I don't want to narrow it to one. What we do is, you know, I'm gonna be back here June 15th for the premiere, man, and I'm gonna share some more with y'all. Cause put it like this: you want to hear a great Tupac story? Go to the theater.
Forever a businessman.
Yeah,
LT Hutton, the producer of the All Eyes on Me film, man. Proud of you, my brother. I can't wait to check it out. I don't want to see a preview or nothing.
Hey, but you know what? You know, we actually missed the question. Going back to the question, who I think going to be the breakout star?
Oh, yeah. Okay, come on.
Hands down, man. Like I said, everybody put in such a great performance, but I'm going to say this on record. The world is going to be shocked by Demetrius Shipp Jr. Trust me. You know, like I said, him and Denai. I don't want to single out. So many people did. Like, you're gonna see performances out of this world. Like Denai Guerrera, Hill Harper. So many performances from Strong, Jamie Hector, Corey Hardy. Oh my goodness, Corey Kill. D. Ray is in the movie. D. Ray Kill. He got a role that, you know, you're not gonna think there's D. Ray because he's there, but you know.
Wait a minute, D. Ray, Corey from the crib too.
Yeah,
he from the Heights.
Yeah.
He from the Heights.
I
see. I ain't mad at you.
Come on, man.
He couldn't get a Tone Capone voice in that. Damn, what happened?
Hey, man, you know what I mean? We could have, man.
I'm way over here. That's all good.
You was way over here, and we was hanging out too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a strong like I said, Jamie Hector. I mean, the list goes on, man. DOMINIC, SANTANA. You know, it's too many people in this